Hello and welcome to Fueled by Growth, the podcast for purpose-driven female entrepreneurs. In this episode, we have Lucie HAUTREUX, and she's a business coach and entrepreneur since 2016, with knowledge in both finance and strategy. She helps female entrepreneurs align their businesses with their lifestyle to thrive in life. Welcome, Lucie. It's very nice to have you here. Before starting, I'd like to understand a bit more about your personal journey and how did you become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, hi, hello Adriana, and hello everyone. How did I become an entrepreneur? I'm not sure. It just happened. I was actually in Indonesia, in Bali, and I came there for a job, and it didn't really work out very well after 9 months. So I decided to stay a bit longer in Bali because why not? Beach, coconut, and
That sounds
daily
great, right?
lifestyle. So I just extended my stay a bit longer, and one day I actually went for a gelato in a gelato shop, and I saw this entrepreneur, Jeremy, with full of invoices, his computer, and like very overwhelmed about his finances and stuff. And he started to chat with me, and I say, "Oh, I'm a financial controller. I can really help you." He say, "Yeah, but you are probably too expensive. I can't hire you on a full-time basis. My business is here. I can't really afford you." But I was like, you know what? I have nothing else to do. I'm on long holidays in Bali. I'm looking for, something else and a way to stay. So I started to be a freelancer, and I started to help him, and I solved his problem. I structure his accounting, I put in place a system, and I help him to really understand his numbers.
Yeah. So this is quite interesting because it is the finance part tends to be an overwhelming part for every business owner. And how do you make also people understand that finance is, or taking care of your finances is not actually a difficult and this overwhelming thing, but it can be actually easy?
Exactly, because I worked for 11 years in finance and financial control, so I really understood how numbers work. And as an entrepreneur as well, I'm like, you don't need to be accountant to actually understand numbers. You just need to start to look at them. And I call my method date your finances. So you date your finances every month. You look at your numbers and you start to few things, because as an entrepreneur we get overwhelmed. And I saw so many, yeah, I'm a creative, I cannot do numbers. But it's wrong. I'm sorry to say it. We all have two sides. One is more analytical, math, and one is more creative and yin, and the other part is more yang. We have both sides inside of us, but one most of the time is less explored. We don't use it as much. But I want to say to everyone listening today, it can be really simple. You don't need to make it very difficult. The thing is, you just need to bring some love to it. I really like the concept of start to date your finances, to show a bit of love, a bit of, okay, let me try it. Go step by step. Don't try to understand everything in one day, but step by step, look at your numbers. Look at how much money have you been making, like last month, but also last year. And also compare, try to start to understand where is your money going as well, where are your expenses going. Step by step, you cultivate a new love for your numbers, and it's really how you start to see numbers will talk to you, and they will help you to make strategic decisions in your business.
Exactly. So on the same note, if you were to recommend a few healthy habits that people can start straight away to implement, which would be those?
So the first part would be to set a date in your weekly calendar, just to take maybe 20 to 30 minutes every week as a habit to do your admin and everything related to numbers. Why? Because I saw also a lot of people, forgetting to get paid by their client. So you want to get paid, so you need to send invoice, you need to check the payments, you need to ask for your money to be paid. But if you don't follow, most of people, they are probably honest, but they forget. They don't think about you all the time. So my advice is really take a time every week to look at that, get paid. Look at where your money is going. What are those automatic payments going outside of your bank account? Maybe you just forgot about it. Maybe a software you have subscribed a year ago and you actually don't use it. Or try to look at where the money is going. And it's by cultivating this on a weekly basis at the beginning, then you start to create a habit. And the other part is you need to start to make money as well in your business. So you need to know what is your cost. You need to know how much you have money, and it has to be a difference, has to be profitable. But you start to, if you don't know your cost, if you don't know how much money you are in the need per month for your living cost as a solo entrepreneur, you don't know how much you are actually making. So you really need to start to understand how much is actually my profit. We don't compare yourself. Oh, I'm not a 6-figure business. I'm not a 7-figure business. This doesn't mean anything. If you are making 7-figure business and you are making almost no profit, better not to do it. So you really need to start to understand the bottom line, because it's a difference, a shift in the mindset from doing a hobby, a passion project. Yeah, I want to open my business, and making it as a business. So you shift also your mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset, and it's difficult. The entrepreneurial journey is not the easy path. It was easier to go on a 9-to-5 job and not having insecurities about, may I get money at the end of the month, you know? So you need to shift the mindset as well. And it has to go with loving your numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it is very valuable, and it is actually true how important it is to take into account all these aspects and not forget about the finances, because you might uncover, other profit sources, or you might uncover other things that you were not aware of, right? So, what entrepreneurs can do to achieve this balance? Do you have some examples of like people that have by working with you, they have achieved better results after implementing your strategy?
Yeah, first I would say after 3 to 6 months, but even after a month, you start to release the pressure off the shoulder, because what happened with the financial pressure is like a sickness eating you inside. You don't really notice it until one day I'm actually struggling with money, and you need to face the problem. So before to wait is too late. Like when we do together and we date our finances and we put some strategy in place, what do is we have a goal, and then we make a roadmap, and then step by step we make decision going in that direction, because we need to know where we are going in the only way. And managing your finances is helping you to go toward your goal. So it's you start to see also money and finance as a way to achieve your goal, and then your mindset start to shift. So when we work together, it's really about having clarity and how to go there. So less overwhelming about how actually I'm going to achieve. Having this accountability as well, because I know as an entrepreneur, when I started 7 years ago, I was feeling lonely in my journey. You know, I couldn't share what I was doing. All my entrepreneurs network were actually my clients, so I couldn't share my struggles with them. You know, it's like I need to serve them. I cannot I cannot share why I'm struggling. But so it's also growing this, and by being in charge on top of your finances, it helps you to build a confidence, and helping you also to manage better your business, to see and put more momentum, I would say, as well. It's like, okay, actually I need to make money now, I need to go for it, and then your actions are like more you less postpone things, it's like this
Yeah.
procrastination we do sometimes. Oh, I don't like to do that, so I will do that, but then you must do the other thing, the things you don't like, because it's what is bringing more revenue in your business as well. So step by step you start to unlock things, and we do a lot of mindset, because it's part of how to fight against our fears, our emotional side. And in business we have to be without the emotion sometimes. We need to call in the structure, the young, the okay, what are those numbers are telling us? I am going in the right direction. So we step by step build the responsibility, and then we face ourselves in the mirror, but it feels good because we are progressing and achieving more. So I would say it's really on this yin and yang part we have inside of us, and it's really making like the reunion of it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so interesting because people tend to go on, as you say, on the opposite side. So if I have a fear, it's quite difficult to face it. It's way easier to focus on something else that's not related to that fear. But so let's say procrastination is one thing. What are other limiting beliefs that people tend to have when you're trying to deal with finances?
That I'm not enough, I cannot make enough money, I cannot generate the revenue, I'm not worthy enough, all those things. And it's hard, and because we all have this, it's how also we grow up, is all those things. So when we are able to have support to face those things and to work with it, it's not to avoid it, it's just to manage them. And the tool I put in place in the method is actually in place to have a path and try to not listen to the fear too much. It's just to observe the fears, but also to make sure we have momentum, we move forward and action and all those things. So it's really how we can beat the fears or dance with the fear. And it's really about that, is yeah, I'm not worthy, I'm not sure I can generate the money and all those things. But the question I would love everyone to ask themselves is, what do you want? Do you want the flexibility and have your own business to have the life you really desire? Or do you want more simplicity and stress less? In this case, just go back to a corporate life. Don't hurt yourself, it's okay also to have a job. But at one stage, you must decide, what do you really want? And if it's the entrepreneurial journey, yes, it requires effort. Yes, the flexibility, you won't have it at the beginning. It takes easily 2 to 3 years to actually have your business secure in terms of, okay, I know what I sell, I know how I serve, I learned the capabilities I was missing on, and have like a constant and revenue. And then you start to have a team with you, so you start to have more time. But let's be honest, at the beginning you must do all the work, and this is not just 5 hours per week. It doesn't work like this,
Yeah,
except if you already have developed everything before. But the journey is take time. It's a long process, but it's worth it. But it requires discipline, it requires consistency, and it's why doing it alone is it's sometimes.
yeah, indeed. And all of a sudden, you're from your accountant to your financial advisor to the person that delivers the service, searches for sales. So there are so many things. Then when you're doing your 9 to 5 job, you didn't need to cover. So all of a sudden, that comes new. So you need to put systems in place that avoid, let's say, lose the focus that you have.
Exactly.
So it
Focus is the one.
focus. So if we were to go more in depth into like what women tend to be scared when they are looking at their finances, as you work with women entrepreneurs, what are some common things that you found yourself that are, they're struggling with when they have their own business?
Yeah, they're scared of, in a way, the reality, because numbers don't lie. They're scared of, yeah, I don't. It's not my thing. It's smart. It's I don't, and it's okay. Like for me, I never judge, and it's not about judging. Even told my clients, don't judge yourself. When we look at what happened and how you have spent money last month, don't go from a place of judgment and be hard on yourself. It's done already. The past is the past. But one thing we do together is really to learn what happened in the past. What are your behaviors? Where your money has been? So we can learn the lesson and shift and change the mindset to adapt towards what you want. And then one thing as well to understand as an entrepreneur is the difference between an expense, a cost, and an investment. And you start to also you need to start to understand what is investment. And an investment is, for example, when you need to learn new capabilities for your business, it's not an expense, it's an investment, because you will learn more knowledge, so you will be more valuable, or your business will run better, so you will have a return on investment at one stage, because you will be able to get more revenue, you will be able to generate more profit. So it's really also to understand those things. Is what I'm spending now, is it a cost, like something I throw away a bit, or is something actually I put money in and I invest? Because when we also have, we are starting a business or scaling a business, we need at some stage to invest. You know, you need to, okay, I'm not doing a hobby anymore. I'm serious about what I'm doing and I want to make it happen. So at one stage, you will have to have the decision. You will probably come to a point to, do I invest in that program, on this program, because I need help? It's an investment. So you need to be ready as well to see this difference between a pure expense. A pure expense, if you look at it, is when you go outside for a takeaway coffee. This is an expense, okay? You don't get return on investment. You don't feel more
Maybe
energized.
a bit more energy, but then
No, wrong. You can make your coffee at home, okay? You can invest in a coffee maker at home, which is an investment, and I would advise to do that instead of spending $5 every day on a coffee, because at the end of the year, it's over $1,800. It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's why when we start to look at the expenses, we do 1 month, but then month by month, we look at numbers in a year. And when you start to see, for example, a $5 expense, you don't even think about it every day because you do it as a habit and something. And it's really cultural here in Australia. People, even twice a day, they go. And when I told them, do you know how much you are spending at the end of the year? They got shocked, because with $1,800, imagine if you invested this money in a program, in something, in your business, software you need, something to help you, or even, a virtual assistant at one stage, probably the same cost, but it will have helped you to generate more income instead of having a coffee. So you start to understand why numbers are important. And there's another mistake as well for entrepreneurs is we usually manage the business the same way we are managing the finances at home. So we always go and do as well for personal finance.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to cultivate the same habit, and whatever you are in a relationship or not, you can date your finances with your partner or by yourself, but do it as well for your personal finance, because you start to understand where your money is going. You start to understand what we are doing. And why it's important is because today we are paying with the phone, with the watch, like we don't even touch money anymore. Before we had it when we grew up, like notes and coins, so you see when it's empty. Now we don't see. So it's really bringing the awareness, and being the captain of your boat is really about this. And as an entrepreneur, we can't blame anyone. You can't blame your boss because he hasn't done something for you. You are the only one you are blaming. But it's great because then you also have the responsibility to change, to do something differently. So it's really the beauty for me of being an entrepreneur is it's this, and it's being responsible about your life, basically.
Yeah, it's thinking, being full owner of whatever happens to you, right? So the first and the last responsible is going to always be yourself. So I fully agree with this is the beauty of entrepreneurship, but also that means that the responsibilities you have are way higher in a way.
Exactly. And the responsibility, so also when you mean responsibilities is, okay, at the beginning you are probably doing your business by yourself, but once you start to have even contractors or staff with you, employees, if you are still not looking at your finances, there is a problem. You don't have to become an accountant, but you must know where your money is going. You must know also what's going on today in the world, like economical winter, inflation, price increase, and all of this. You need to be ready for what if I don't have income for 6 months? Do you have the cash flow to pay your employees? Do you have the cash flow to pay for your own expenses? It's really important. And what we do in winter, because we are in winter now in Australia, we put, a coat on us. We get a flu shot. We prepare. We protect ourselves. So it's exactly the same mechanism for economical winter. You must understand your numbers. You must know where you are at. What is your situation today? Because if you live in a limbo world where, oh yeah, maybe, well, no, let's go back to reality. Protect yourself, protect your family. It's important.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting because right now we're going through quite an uncertain situation. We see all our costs, wherever you are increasingly rapidly due to inflation and other economic, it's just the economic situation in general. So what can we do to prevent, a few months down the road seeing like, oh, I'm having more costs than I actually, than revenue? What are some things entrepreneurs can do?
But first, being fully aware about your current situation. Do you have debt? Do you have savings? How are your expenses are at the moment? Where can you save some money as well? Do you need to move to a cheaper apartment? Do you need to cut takeaway coffee? Maybe doing less social dinner? Where is your money going? And then, okay, how as well I can generate more money with my business? What are maybe some clients I can call again to get more income and make sure I'm on momentum and make sure I can still bring some client in and some revenue in. So it's really about being fully aware where you are up to, and you can't in the uncertainty of today, but it was the same uncertainty during COVID. We don't know when it will end. The things we are sure about is it's a cycle. It happened before, it will happen again. So we just have to thrive during this challenging time. So it's ourselves to be responsible about how you spend money every day on. If you have to downgrade your life for a certain amount of months, do it. Don't wait to be in pain. Don't wait to be, I don't know, 10,000 in debt or 20,000 in debt to start to say, okay, I'm actually living in a 4-bedroom apartment by myself and I should maybe be in a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm taking a big example, but I saw people like this. Why are you like, don't pretend to be rich if your financial situation is not okay.
Yeah, exactly. So this is quite important to realize and to change and this has going back to the mindset thing. I think it's quite related to what you've mentioned before about how to give structure to your finances, how to date your finances and be aware of it. You don't need a 4-room apartment. You don't need a coffee for takeaway. There are ways that you can, shift your mindset and take the right action.
Exactly. And remember that it's temporary. It's like money flows in and out. So it's not because you downgrade for a certain amount of time, then you can't go back to that. For example, better to downgrade on the rent and still go outside for dinner once a week than not downgrading your apartment and not being able at least to go outside at all and not being social anymore or have anxiety inside of you.
Yeah.
And something like will make you sick at the end of the day. So you can also wait, like, what do I am doing? Should I keep my apartment, but then I have to say no to everything and I don't feel good and I'm anxious and I don't know where my life is going, and maybe if I'm anxious I'm actually not bringing client in neither because I'm not sending the right signal. Or okay, I downgrade. I move your apartment. Yes, it's painful. No one loves moving.
It is.
but
It is.
but it's a relief. At the end of the day, it's a relief. I had to downgrade myself as well because I'm in Australia now, and yeah, and it's like you must do it. I don't do it forever, but I'm like, okay, I'm going back to a flat chair or something like this because um, if I continue to live by myself in a nice apartment, I'm actually not enjoying my life as much as before. And you want to enjoy during winter as well. So you need to wait the decision. What is the best for you? But think about it, because the only way for me is when you date your finances on a monthly basis, you look at your numbers and you decide what is the best for me. And
That's
moving out, it's an example. You don't have to like, but think about it, because sometimes we push away this decision because it's comfortable to stay in the place we stay. But then if it costs you so much pain, and if your body is not feeling good, if you don't have the energy you had before, if something is going wrong in your life, think about where it's coming.
Yeah, this was very, very, very insightful, Lucie. Well, thank you very much for your time and for guiding us through how we should look at our finances. I hope everyone is going to implement everything that you've just mentioned. From now on, how people can get in touch with you?
So I will be sharing a free magical spreadsheet to help you to actually date your finances. It's very simple. There is a video attached to explain you and guide you step by step. I want you to get started. And also, if you think numbers is not your cup of tea, start to change your vocabulary and say, I start to love numbers. I start to date my numbers. I start to fall in love because it will serve me. So I really want you to have a new kind of mantra, a new love relationship with your numbers, because it's how it helps. And then I'm happy also to offer to your audience some like a call with me. I'm really happy to, if they have questions, to get them started. And I want everyone to date their finance because it will help.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. So we will post everything in the description of the video, the links to your framework and the links to get in touch with you. Thank you very much, everyone, and we keep in touch.
Thank you. See ya.